Now, just doing some basic mental math, $300 for the Xbox Series S, $220 to try and get this expanded storage slot in order to have an actual playable version of next gen for the lowest cost. That comes out to, before tax, being $520. And that doesn't even count.
I think I'm going to have to say again, I think Boogie was right about the Xbox Series S. We're going back to like 7th gen resolutions, kids. Or early 8th gen resolutions on the Series S. Let's get into it.
And it's crazy we got to keep going into this, man. I'm holding the microphone today. Now let me just get into it by saying I don't want an Xbox Series S. I was never going to buy one. I would never buy that shit, bro. Like, I would never buy that shit. But... and in fact, I'm not even buying an Xbox Series X at launch. I'm getting the PS5. Like, I'm on track to get my PS5 launch day. The $500 full-fledged disc accepting version. Like, I wouldn't get that Series S. I would not get the fucking digital PS5. I'm gonna get a Series X sometimes later in the future. But we gotta keep on going into these, because these people keep on being upset at the prospect of options. Right? Two more of the usual suspects. Rich of Review Tech and Dreamcast guy. Dreamcast guy who's a known cherry picker, like, who will come out and just basically call himself a PS4 or a PlayStation fanboy. Like, straight up. And Rich, somebody who, to have Review Tech in his name, doesn't seem to understand tech that much. Right? Flat out. Microsoft told you from the beginning, in a response to Rich, because he's harping on about resolution. Right? They told you from the beginning that the GPU will not be as strong as the Series X. At $300, how could it be? It could not be. They told you that there's a maximum range of 1440p in the resolution department with the Series S. They haven't misled nobody about nothing with this fucking console. And I don't want this console. I'm not getting it. Like, but they haven't misled you. The GPU, and I'm no tech head, like, I took computer science in high school, so I can do some basic ass programming, but the GPU, the grunt of that, this determines the effects and the textures and the damn graphical fidelity and the resolution. The CPU is just about on par with the Series X though, which is why the Series S can reach 60 frames per second in a way that the Xbox One and Xbox One X could not. Right, this is the budget offering. They've made that plain. It's $200 less than the other one. Why in the fuck are you going on and on about shit you should not expect for $300? He cherry picks. He said it's early 8th gen resolutions. But it's not early 8th gen frame rates though, is it, Rich? Which the CPU has more bearing on. A game at 1080p early PS4 will run at 30 frames per second or worse. A game at 900p will run at 30 frames per second or worse for the most part. I know you had Call of Duty and Battlefield. That's a whole different story. Those is first person shooters optimized to run at 60, and some of them, as the generation went on, struggled to even do that shit. I would say that Battlefield 4 is just as good looking as Battlefield 5, but Battlefield 5 on the base PS4 struggles its ass off to run at 60. Battlefield 4 holds it more stable from what I played, but that's besides the point. They already showed off Gears of War 5 going in at fucking 120 frames per second on the Series S. This is $300. Flat $300. What do you expect to get, bruh? Like, what do you expect to get? You expect to get all of that, all of this crazy performance that you're gonna get in the Series X for about the same price as the low-end graphics PC cards? Like, you getting a CPU, a GPU, controller, all that for what a 2060 would cost. And that's the bottom end card in the 20 series. You know what I mean? It's $200 cheaper. This is not for you if you got a problem with the shit, to say that it's a waste of money and it shouldn't exist, and to agree with fucking Boogie 2988, a moron. Like, let's be for real, bruh. Don't get it. If like, you don't have to buy it, bruh. Like, if it was the only option, I would agree with everything you're saying. But it's not. It's not the fucking only option. It was never planned to be the only option. It's the option for people who don't care about all that shit you talking. They don't care about the frames per second or the resolution. They care about getting the new architecture, or they don't even care about that. They care about getting one of the new Xboxes and being able to play the new games, which they'll be able to do. And on the Dreamcast guy with the storage capacity, again, it's an option. See, Dreamcast guy will tell you all this shit about the Xbox Series S, right? Which is $300, but he won't make the parallel that the same exact fucking situation is going on with the PS5. All right, if you don't know, 512 gigabytes of SSD storage available for the Series S, right? That's what the box says. But actual storage available, according to a leak, is like 384 gigabytes, right? Which is not much, granted. That's true. It took about a little bit less than 200 gigabytes away for quick resume and operating system and all that bullshit set aside. Let's look at the PS5, according to another leak. 825 gigabytes of SSD storage in the box, on the box for the PS5. Now we going off leaks now, but according to another leak, only like 620 of that is available for you to use. 200 fucking gigabytes gone, between 620 and 650, something like that. So about the same amount used up on the PS5 as the Series S. But wait, there's more. The PS5 at its cheapest is $400, $100 more than the fucking Xbox Series S. And at its most expensive is $500. Now I get that the PS5 is stronger console, got the better GPU than the Series S, and that goes into some of that price also. But the same principle goes. His argument was that to expand it, you have to pay $200 fucking dollars to get the more memory, the more storage space with the memory card. You have to pay $200 to get one of the compatible SSDs for the PS5 too. So if you're going to expand the storage, you're still going to have to pay fucking $700 for the PS5. Or even this, like, none of the consoles have enough storage space for the way the games. The developers don't give a fuck about you enough to compress this shit the way that they can if they wanted to put effort into it. Nintendo shows you can do that. If these Nintendo games that come weighing in at 6 to 13 gigabytes, Breath of the Wild is 13 gigabytes. If that was made by one of these other companies, the motherfucker would be 40 to 50 gigabytes. But these other companies don't care to compress the game. They put the files out there. Hell, you got sometimes the fucking patch is bigger than the actual install of the game. They put it out there. The rest of it is on you. They're not going to put in the effort. So none of them have enough storage. But the Dreamcast guy's doing what he does. Cherry picking shit. And again, I don't want a fucking Xbox Series S. I would never buy that shit. To me, it was never in the options. Never. I'll spend the $500 on the Series X. I'll spend the $500 on the Blu-ray drive version of the PS5. I'm not getting none of that GIMP bullshit that they putting out. To me, it's gimped, but it's also an option. I'm not against options. I'm not against somebody who can't spend $500 being able to get an Xbox Series S for $300 or being able to get a PS5 digital for $400. I don't know why these clowns just keep hating. They keep hating because you just come on YouTube and get a bunch of views by spewing dog shit. Like, if you don't like it, don't buy it, my dude. Like, they think that these damn consoles is an exclusive club. Like, oh, if it's not the Series X, then it's a waste of money. Now, Rich's arguments are strictly for just centered around the Series S, because he's arguing about the graphical grunt of it, even though it's $200 less. Bruh. $200 less. You don't get the same performance for $200 less. But Dreamcast guy, his shit is something that could apply to every console. Every console. But he just cherry picking one. That argument about storage goes for every console. You're gonna have to expand the storage if you want to keep all your shit installed. And the thing about it is that they don't. This is what they don't tell you when they holler about the storage. You can still install, especially old games, backwards compatible joints. You can install those on old style plug-in, drop-in mechanical hard drives. Only the new games are required to be on the SSD, and you can transfer them back and forth. And if you don't want to deal with the time that it takes to transfer it from a mechanical hard drive to the internal SSD, you can get an external SSD for a fraction of the cost of these other ones, and still transfer them back and forth in a fraction of the time that it takes to do it from mechanical to SSD. If you want to get one of the other lower end SSDs that are out, or you can just bite the bullet in one of two ways. You can bite the bullet and buy the memory card for the Xboxes, or buy one of the approved NVMe's for the PS5s, or you can bite the bullet and just have less storage. These fucking things are $500 and below. They are a compromise. They're not top of the line products. The PC is the top of the line product, and you're gonna pay thousands of dollars for that. So the PC is where you want to go if you want all this shit packed into one machine. If you want the best graphics, the most storage, the best this and the best that, get a fucking computer, which these two dudes probably have. I know Rich got one. I don't know about Dreamcast guy, but other than that, if you don't want the Series S, just don't buy it. You're not persuading nobody, bruh. The people who are like us were never gonna get it anyway. So what are you talking about? The Series S is for a different demographic that want to spend the least amount of money to get into the new Xbox ecosystem. That's not you. That's not me. I mean, that's a wrap. I'm done talking about this. No hate to these dudes. As content creators, I'm subscribed to them both. But damn, man. Stop hating. Just don't buy the Series S. And Dreamcast guy, come on, man. You got a PS5. You know it only got 600 and something odd gigabytes of available storage. And it's $500. Stop it.